Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to CryptoTraders Room. This is your host, Crypto Trader, aka Jonas, and one of the only places where we eat, drink, sleep, dream, trade, and invest in digital currencies. And if you're a new-time viewer, welcome, and don't forget to click on that subscribe button, as well as the post notification so that you're notified when a video is uploaded or I do spur-of-the-moment type of live stream. And stay connected with us on Steemit, Twitter, as well as Facebook. But yeah, what is going on today? Danielle, welcome. Bitcoin Buddha, welcome. Great to see new names on this live stream. This is awesome. And thank you for not being shy and actually saying what's up. Abbas, welcome. Ali, welcome. Manipulated by whom? Well, you know what? It's, this market was pretty stagnant. And I'm going to cover that. And, when I kind of saw things moving, and it was basically kind of, to me, it seemed a coordinated move, either initiated by bots or, coordinated by multiple people that have bots that colluded to get the market to go up. Because a lot of the, big cryptocurrencies that I really look at, the top 10, they all went up exactly at the same time. And they all went up in USD value because that's really what I look at. Now, if the BTC value had gone up, and, with BTC going up, that would have been a different story. But for the US dollar, for the USD pair to also go up, I don't know. I just like to think outside the box and think, what could this be manipulated? Because that was a big push. And we're going to take a look at some of the cryptocurrencies that really had a nice push, $3 to $4 push. And that's just too quick, too soon, all happening within at the same time. So, I don't know who, to be honest with you, but that's kind of my speculation. Yeah, really weird action, exactly. And that's exactly what I thought. And the action wasn't just on Bitcoin. It was on a lot of the other major cryptos. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the overall picture. Bill Bullock, welcome. I'm camping. Howdy. Darkness, what is up, buddy? Thank you for that interview, by the way. Appreciate it. Yeah, and for some of you that are just joining, I actually did a first ever chat and chill type of conversation, and I really wasn't prepared to have anybody on the live stream. But I thought, hey, you know what? Why not get somebody on the live stream and see if anybody wants to actually hop on and have a conversation about Bitcoin and how they got involved. I'm always curious to find out, the story behind us regular people and how we got involved. I mean, we always find out how, the big names, how they got involved into cryptocurrency. But, I'm more interested about how us little people, and really we are little people in this cryptocurrency market, how we got involved in this market. And I think it's a great story to tell for other people that are just really finding out about cryptocurrency, because more than likely they're going through the same thing that we went through when we first heard about it. And how many times did we have to hear about it before we actually, took the right steps to get involved in this market? But yeah, so Darkness, thank you so much, man. And I look forward to doing more of those, to be honest with you. So hopefully, every Friday night, we can kind of grab our favorite beverage, whether it's an adult beverage or, a regular beverage, and we'll just chill and have people on the live stream. Huge pumps for no reason. All right, so David, good morning. Yeah, Neo, and I mean, we're going to take a look at some of these cryptocurrencies and how they've actually moved up. And we're going to see exactly, what this push that they all had all of a sudden. And I am losing some sort of a connection today, so hopefully it won't be too bad. But so let's go ahead and actually take a look at BTC or LTC first. This was a big push, and this really started at, let's see what time that was, 10 a.m. 10 a.m., basically the price was 48.96. So let's just say the low was $49. To go from 49 to 53 within a matter of an hour, that's a big push. That's a very big push. 53, 52 actually was the push up. If this was a sustained type of move, a healthy type of move, let's go ahead and just get a little granular on this. We would see more of a nice push up to the upside and not see two big parabolic type of candles and then have it come down and consolidate and try to find direction. As traders are really trying to figure out, okay, what is going on? What is the news that actually pushed this thing up? And if you're not the type of person that's going to really jump into something that's moving up so fast for no apparent reason, you're going to try to research it a little bit. And I think, if a lot of traders have the same mindset, because when I saw it move up, I thought, okay, what is going on? There has to be news. And I tried finding something on BTC News, nothing. And I'm like, all right, this has to be some sort of coordinated push up to the upside. And that's kind of what I think. So we'll see if this actually retraces. And if it does retrace and start really breaking down, some of our moving averages, because right now they're way above all of our moving averages. That's just way too big of a push. It needed to have a healthy type of push up to the upside and not go up $3.50 on LTC within a matter of an hour, probably less than an hour actually. But yeah, that's too big of a push. So we're going to see exactly how this plays out throughout the day. If it just grinds back down and starts breaking through our 7, 17, and possibly 50-day moving average. But yeah, this move all started all at the same time. 10 a.m. on BTC went from 37.71 all the way to 39.48. So that's a big push within a very short period of time. LTC though, I'm sorry. What am I looking at here? F though wasn't too big of a push. Not too big. Now, if this thing would have broken out above 3, then yeah, that would have been a nice push for it, especially to go from 288 was the low at 10 a.m. when that push started. OMG. And we're going to take a look at NEO because I do have a position in NEO, and I still have that. And I think I'll be willing to get rid of it at $30. Sky Tech, good morning, buddy. Hope all is well in Cali. All right, so where was this at 10 a.m.? 10 a.m. low was $9.42. So, I mean, not too big of a push, but it still did push up and break above 10. But it's not maintaining it. It's not going to maintain it. This is not a sustained type of move, a healthy type of move. It's just a manipulated push. That's really what it is. But NEO had a big push. So let's go ahead and find NEO. And I'm not able to use Bitfinex for some reason. It keeps instantly logging me out. So I don't know if there's a denial of service attack or what it might be. But yeah, I don't even think I could trade on Bitfinex today if I wanted to. That's right, Bitcoin Buddha. It's a type of move that makes you go, wonder what could have caused that, because it's not being sustained. It's not holding the levels that it should hold. If this was a reasonable type of move. Now you are going to have profit taken. That's just, that's the nature of the beast. But a lot of people probably had, sell orders in the book, which caused it to execute. But, almost broke out to $25, and $25 is the resistance on NEO. Because that's really where I should have sold a while back when I bought at 20, and it actually ran up. Let's see if we can get a better chart on this. There was some news about Korea. Yeah, let us know what that was. I know a lot of the volume is going to be going to Korea, South Korea. All right, this is not listing this properly. What am I looking at? Bitfinex on NEO. Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't want to load the whole chart. Let me see if I can get logged on to Bitfinex. Yeah, Red Pulse. Yeah, I did hear something about that. So hopefully it is due to that it is moving up. Gas was actually moving up like crazy on Friday when I was actually doing the chill and chat, or the chat and chill. All right, where's NEO? Oh, there it is. NEO USD. Do I think Bitcoin needs a pause to go higher? Yeah, definitely. It can't have these type of parabolic moves and expect to sustain it. It really can't. It has to be nice and gradual. Lots of spoofing going on. Crypto never sleeps. I think you nailed it. Definitely nailed it. All right, this is a better chart, but let's see. Let me see if I can zoom out of here. So this is where I bought when it dropped to 20. That was the level that I had bought, and I didn't buy too many. Had a nice run up to 25. So that 25 would have been, would have been the resistance if you were looking to sell and get out of the position. So 25 bucks. And that is still going to stay as the resistance unless it can break out of it with a vengeance. Now, let's just say hypothetically, let's go ahead and zoom in this. The levels here before it had a really big push up to the upside was that $25 level. And if that was a $25 level, then these candlesticks would have given you, well, to an extent, because we don't know really if this is being spoofed or not or manipulated, would have been a clear indication of a nice parabolic move to the upside. Yeah, it would have definitely broke out of it with a vengeance. But yeah, it got stopped short of that $25 price point. So 25 is still the resistance. So we'll see exactly, how far will this pull down? And if it pulls down back to where she started out from at 10 a.m., then, we know that this was manipulated, unfortunately. $150 on the bid. Yeah, I wish I could see that. Like I said, I can't log on to Bitfinex. If you guys are utilizing Bitfinex, let me know if you're having issues logging in. And Ali, what exchange is that on? The 150K bid that you see. SB, let's see what you're saying. And the big thing is that members of it, I'm assuming Korea, are already verified. So the barrier to crypto trading is going to be lowered, and not the hassle of KYC that we deal with. Yeah, well, hopefully, with decentralized exchanges coming out, we're not going to have to deal with KYC and governments intervening and shutting down exchanges. Bittrex. But yeah, this is not being sustained at all. Let's get a little granular, maybe 5 minutes. And all really somebody had to do, if they had a very large sizable position and they were looking to get out, like I've talked about in the past, is just give it a little bit of a push. When you give it a little bit of a push, then people see that it's actually moving and it's breaking through, the 50-day moving average. How do I have this set? Let's see. The 100, the 50, and the 10. Because I can only really have three moving averages on this without paying for the service. Considering that, they see that it's breaking out and having a nice separation above the 10-day moving average, yeah, people would hop on and send this up higher as the people are possibly going to be getting out at the top. Because, yeah, this is just downtrending from here on. And if it really breaks the 50-day moving average, which is in the yellow, then, yeah, it was not a sustained type of move. So hopefully nobody got caught in this thinking that, okay, you know what, this is the start of a turnaround. I would wait to see, to make sure that it's going to consolidate, and it's definitely not consolidating. It's definitely downtrending. I think that's a problem. You're right. Bitcoin Buddha, it's going to be cash trading. It's going to be virtual currency to virtual currency. And hopefully, let's think about it. So let's just say hypothetically Coinbase, which I utilize because in case I need to get USD into my bank account, that's really the only way for me to be able to do it. And Coinbase has shut down all these major, centralized exchanges, because really they are centralized, Gemini and Coinbase and a lot of these other exchanges. So we're not able to really deposit USD or get USD into our bank account to be able to pay for our daily expenses, whatever it is. But hopefully, you know, like Monaco, you know, to be able to load the cryptocurrencies on there, you know, that's really going to come in handy. And that's where, you know, there has to be, you know, those type of payment structures in place to be able to have that mass adoption, because people have to be able to spend cryptocurrency. I mean, they can't just keep it in cryptocurrency and not be able to utilize and spend it. So if they can't spend it, then it becomes bad. Like, I mean, if I needed this money now and I had no access to be able to transfer it to my bank account, I would be stuck holding cryptocurrency, and that's not going to do me any good. So having a cryptocurrency like Monaco or any other ones that are out to be able to put your virtual currencies onto that debit card or credit card or whatever it is and be able to spend it, that's really where mass adoption will come in handy, I think, in my opinion. But let me know if there's something that you guys want me to take a look at. But let's see what's going on Bittrex. So I basically, I'm looking at the percentage gainers for right now, but then I'll take a look at the volume gainers, who's up in volume. But THC, Redcoin was pretty beat up. Did like 22 Satoshis or 23 Satoshis. But nothing is being pumped. Now let's take a look at Neo and that wall. And that could be a fake wall too. So we got to remember, especially if it's on the bid side, you know, somebody doesn't want it to go down, especially where that order was put in the book. And I mean, if it's close to execution, then I would say, all right, you know what, there's a possibility that it could be a real order in the book. But if it's so far away and it really doesn't have any chance of being executed without them canceling it, then I would say more likely it's a fake wall. But yeah, I don't know what price point that was at when you saw that. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything crazy, especially close to the actual execution price. Nothing out of the ordinary, at least not that I saw, unless it fell off the book. That's the only thing I can think of, if you were able to see it. You know, I'm surprised PayPal, you're right too, SB. And that's something maybe, you know, they might have in the work. It wouldn't surprise me at all. But, you know, they want to watch out. You know, they don't want to, tiptoe the line of getting in trouble with regulation. Rub-a-dub-dub. Good day. So we'll see. This is, we're looking at, well, let me get out of the 5-minute chart. All right, so, I mean, we're still above our moving averages. But nothing is telling me that, hey, you know what, this is going to be a sustained type of move. So we'll see on the 5-minute chart how violently she comes down to our 50-day moving average, which is the purple line. And that puts it right around 49.82. 49.80ish. But as long as BTC makes a move up, then all the other alts are going to follow, and that's really the main important thing to kind of watch. So she completely broke up above my downward trend line. She broke the upward trend, and she stayed within. Let's see if I can zoom in this. She stayed within the downward trend, and now she completely broke out of it. And she broke out of it with a vengeance. And that wasn't just at 10 a.m. That was at 10 p.m. last night, Eastern time zone. And see, and that's a healthy move. That's definitely a healthy move, because what it did was basically it consolidated without really breaking down. The low that it touched was really 37.41. Now that's a healthy move. Now, if it just continuously grinds down back to where she came from, then you know that there was some sort of manipulation that happened. Somebody was looking to get out of their position. So we'll see exactly how this plays out. But as long as this continues to either flatline or trend to the upside, then we know that it has a sustained move possibly. But we got to think about it. It could also just be part of the manipulation. But yeah, if you caught this at like $3,500 or even 36, yeah, these are nice profits. Could this be a bull trap? Anything's a possibility. And as long as you have that in the back of your mind, you're going to know, okay, you know what? Are we trying to get psyched out here? Or we being manipulated somehow, some way? So it's a good thing you always have that in the back of your mind. Like, could this possibly be a bull trap? It could, easily. Redcoin, I really can't talk about the fundamentals of Redcoin. But the technical side, I mean, if you were able to take advantage of it at 25 Satoshis and get out, I don't know what it hit, 40 Satoshis. Those aren't bad gains. Those are pretty significant. But yeah, I don't know about, appeal to mainstream users or mass adoption. I really couldn't tell you about that. Yeah, I really haven't done much research on Redcoin. So they're basically launching a feature to allow users to link social media names with blockchain public keys. Also seems like they have user-friendly UI. SE, not a problem, man. Pleasure to have you guys on this live stream. Thank you for joining. And if you are a new time viewer, don't forget to click on that subscribe button as well as the post notification. So far, the 30-minute chart, I mean, not on every single cryptocurrency, but on OMG does definitely look good. I mean, it's holding the gains that it made. I mean, it was a nice push up, and it's maintaining it. I mean, we are closing green on every single half an hour. We'll see exactly when this ends, if it'll stay or close green. Yeah, I see. You didn't really miss much. So, but yeah, we're not really too far into this live stream. But yeah, so where are points that these could have a resistance? So let's go ahead and take a look at LTC and take a look at possible resistance for it. If this is going to be a sustained type of move, and if it's sustained, it'll hold key levels and then break out above resistance, which are going to be a key level, then this could have a nice push to the upside. Let's see how we could do this without me getting rid of anything else that I have on there. All right, so we're basically going to do something a little different, which is called Fibonacci extension. So basically, I mean, there's all different types of Fibonacci's, so just definitely keep that in mind. But as long as you know one of them, you can do the other one. So everybody knows Fibonacci retracement, which is basically indicating exactly what the percentage that it might retrace to, which is where a lot of traders kind of play. The other one is called Fibonacci extension. So with Fibonacci extension, you're basically trying to determine exactly where are key levels of resistance. So what you would do is you would kind of take your Fibonacci, to make it Fibonacci extension, you would take it from the top down to the bottom. And I only took it up to 57.98, and I think that high was $58, so pretty close to the $58 high, to see exactly what is the retracement possibly going to be. So it was sitting somewhere in the range of, so the 0% would have been right at $45. The 23.6 extension was sitting right at 48.60, and that's kind of where a lot of the action really happened. And then really today, she started breaking out above key levels, and the 38.20 was broken out. The 50 was broken out, kind of rejected from the 61.8 extension. So basically, if you bought it at $45, let's see, that 61.08 would have been a key level for people to kind of say, what, this is where I'm going to sell. This is where I'm going to take profit, because that is a big extension from the $45. But the resistance is going to be, let's see if I can draw it. So 53.66, it's going to have a resistance. The other resistances would be 55, which will put it right at the 78.6. And that is kind of the peak right up here. And then, of course, $58. So those are the key areas that, in order for this to be a sustained type of move and to be a healthy move, where it wasn't a manipulated type of push to the upside, these are key levels that she has to break out above in order for it to sustain a longer, extended type of momentum push to the upside. And as long as she could do that, and she doesn't have to break out above every single one of these, but she has to break out and consolidate and maintain those levels. If she can't maintain those levels, then that wasn't a healthy type of move that it made. It's not going to sustain those type of moves, because they're just going up and breaking right back down. And it's, catching a lot of people off guard, thinking that is the breakout. So we'll see exactly how she handles getting back up to that 53.52. 53.52, she's got to break out above it or consolidate in that range. So considering she's at $52 currently right now, that support is going to be at $50, basically $49.96, $50. So if she can't maintain $50, then expect possibly another drop down to 47-ish, 47.50-ish, and she could get back in that level and just consolidate or bounce up and down like she has been. Really, really recently, she's been, kind of trending the 45 to the 50. That was really the channel that she was playing. which are pretty significant gains. I mean, $10, especially if you're able to catch this at 45, which I had an order, didn't execute because I wasn't first in, first out. But yeah, that would have been a pretty good gain from the 45 to the 55. I'm sorry, 45 to the 50, a $5 per coin profit. But yeah, she has to maintain these levels. To maintain the 52 would be even better than to get down to the 50 and maintain 50. Because if she really starts falling, then people will lose confidence in it and possibly start selling or panic and sell because they ended up buying a little higher and she's dipping on them now. But so far, so good, I would say, with the current 30-minute candles that we are currently seeing. And as long as this can close in the green and close close to the high, and the new candle would open up above the closing price of this previous candle, then that is some sort of a bullish move to the upside. But she's got those key levels that she has to get above. And if she can't get above those levels, then it could be a little stagnant for a little while. How come LTC did not follow BTC trend? Well, I mean, it did have a push this morning at 10. I think, all the major cryptos had a nice push to the upside. So that is following the trend. I mean, if you mean long-term trend, no, it's not. Not every cryptocurrency is going to follow, Bitcoin. But, if she didn't have a push up to the upside and push up to 53, and let's just say hypothetically, she was still stuck in that 49, then yeah, then she wouldn't have really been following the trend. But this is following the trend of BTC. I think BTC is probably heading up now as LTC is going up, and they are. I mean, because we're really looking at the 30-minute candlestick. So one red candle, another green candle, and it's really, oh, there we go, it's turning red now. But as long as it closes in the green and it closes at the high, so really the high now is 39.32, then yeah, and it all depends too. The next confirmation would be the next candle to see how it opens and how it reacts to the previous candle's closing price. But I think, yeah, they're all, especially the major cryptos, the top 8, they are following the same trend. Okay, let me take a look at NEO on the BTC side, and just I'm looking at it from a different monitor. But you're right. I mean, NEO is the biggest winner in the sense of USD. And for some reason, I can't seem to pull up okay, there we go, the BTC value. Yeah, volume 43. So, I mean, 43,000 in volume, so which isn't too much. And that's something that really scares me. When something is going up on little volume, that's a little scary. That's not something you should be jumping into. But as long as they keep grinding in the same direction that they're grinding now, and not a complete breakdown, and we haven't seen that complete breakdown yet. So I don't know if somebody's trying to hold up these cryptocurrencies so they can execute their way out. But it's maintaining, it's holding. But really, the clear confirmation is going to be if they get up to this morning's high, and that on LTC, it's at 53.52, and not get above it and break back down, but get above it and consolidate. then we know, okay, you know what? The probabilities of this maintaining this is going to be good. And I mean, if I was in the position, I would be looking to get out at that 78.6. At least lock in a little bit of the profit, unless the plan was to hold long term. But break out above 58, and then you know this is a sustained type of move. So really that 58 is going to be a crucial level, because that's really twice that it got rejected from that 58 and has not been above that 58 yet. And that was a while ago, September 18th and September 16th. If it can get above the 58, and this is really for anybody that has a position, you know, what I personally, if I had a position in this, that 58, I would be locking in a little bit of the profit, and holding to see if she can get back up above the 62.41. 62.41, if she gets above it and maintains it, then yeah, this is a healthy move. But just remember, I mean, she could always be dumped again heavily. So whales are always in control. And if they want to have a sustained move to the upside, a prolonged type of sustained move, then they can. Yeah, LTC is looking good. BTC is looking good. BTC 4,000 should be really the level that it has to get above and maintain. So there's that really kind of almost like a psychological level where if she can get above it, you know, I think people are going to be more bullish. If she can't get above it and she breaks down, that's really when shorts are going to pile in, you know, because they see that, you know, buyers are not really supporting this thing. You know, it doesn't have a confirmed breakout above the 4,000. So if I was shorting, I would wait to see if it's going to have a confirmed breakout above the 4,000. If it touches the 4,000 and kind of starts to break down, that's where I would be shorting, and it hopes for a breakdown back to 3,750-ish, 3,800. So we'll see. I mean, that's a key level. And when it did break out above it, you know, it didn't really have a confirmed breakout, you know, and this is really where it did break out above the 4,000, got up to 4,119 bucks, but it wasn't something that is sustained. Now, these are 1 hour candlesticks. So for a good period of time, you know, she's tried to stay above it. And let's see, when she did break out above 4,000, she got to 4,085, but then broke right down to 3,900 bucks. So that 4,000 level, I think shorts are going to be heavily watching that, as well as the 4,100, because sometimes, you know, they can break the 4,000 and really have a nice break to that 4,100 before really completely breaking down. So we'll see how this plays out with shorts, you know, if there is going to be a massive short attack, because she can't sustain a key level of resistance. Because if it can break the 41 and consolidate with the, I'm sorry, not 41. If she can break 4,000, yeah, that'd be great. She can break 4,000 and maintain that 4,000 for an extended period of time and not get back down to 3,900 bucks. That's when I think, you know, if people are short, that's when they're going to be possibly panicking, because, you know what, this thing went up to 4,000, but it hasn't broken down yet. It's still maintaining 4,000. That's when shorts might cover. And when shorts are covering, they have to buy. So when they're buying, they're causing a price action movement to go up, as well as other buyers that are coming into the market. So they do provide liquidity on the buying side when they have to cover. So, you know, if you guys are going to be watching this, I probably won't be watching this like a hawk unless it happens now, to see if it gets up above that 4,000 and maintain that 4,000. And that's, you know, key things to look at. So if you're trading anything, and you're plotting out support and resistance, and it's not maintaining what you're plotting out, then yeah, that's really not a trade that you should be getting into on the long side. Now, if you're shorting it, then yeah, it'll be a great short. Need another crash so you can get in. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. Like 29th. What's today's date? 26th, I think. Today's 25th. 25th is today. So we'll see what happens on the 29th, possibly the 30th, if they cause some sort of shakeout to happen. And then, when the hard fork in November for BTC. So, I mean, there will be opportunities. There will. You just got to you have to be patient. You have to kind of wait for it to come to you. And if you do end up taking a position, just leave yourself some USD on the side to take advantage of a bigger dip if it does happen. You heard, hey, Dubai Review, welcome, by the way. You heard that the up move was margin calls on shorts. Oh, yeah, then that would send it up. That would definitely send it up. And shorts, they do play a key role. I actually love shorts to pile into a trade. I mean, it's great because when they're forced to cover, now I don't know, let me see, your comment was. Now, they're not going to have a margin call, though, if they're still within the range, the percentage that they want them to have. And it's going to be different with every exchange, to be honest with you. So unless the price is really going up, that's the only way that they're going to have a margin call. But yeah, they're not going to have a margin call unless unless they shorted at $3,500 and it gets up to 38. Then yes, there might be a margin call on them. But yeah, if shorts are getting a little panicky, so really, if we look at this a little closer, after it dropped to 30, let's just say 3,500. It got right up to, it got up to 3808, which was right above really the, what is that? What moving average do I have set there? I wish I can color code these. Right above our 100-day moving average. So if somebody was shorting this, and that's really all that they do, which there's a lot of traders that will just only short, then they would have been really looking, and they're closely looking at the current levels here. 3,800 was a key level. And if it doesn't break above key levels and it's pretty stagnant, then they would probably short that. So as we can see, for an extended period of time, I mean, these are 1 hour candlesticks that we're looking at. It touched 38, got above 38, but then just really had a hard time getting above 38. It didn't get above 38 whatsoever. So if shorts are looking at this, they would say, you know what, this is a great shorting opportunity because it didn't have a confirmed breakout above that $3,800. It got to 3,808 and got pushed right back down. So considering that happened, if shorts, I mean, if that's all that I did was just short, that's really a good spot for me to get into. Now, when shorts are getting in, it's in and out. They're not holding overnight. They're not holding for several days. They don't want to go to bed with an open short position because then, yeah, they can have their ass handed to them and be heavily liquidated. But yeah, and it broke down. So a lot of people would have said, okay, you know what, $3,800, couldn't maintain it, tried to, failed breakout, and it actually broke down to 3,600. So they were probably expecting a break to about 35, but it maintained that $36. And I'm thinking like a short trader would possibly think if I was going to be shorting. I mean, those are significant gains from 38 to 35. So a lot of them were probably waiting for 35 because 35 would have been where the support is, and they want to get out before the support so that they can actually get out with a profit. 3,600, it maintained it, kind of grind. So they were still pretty good. Looking at this chart here, and I shorted at $3,800, I would say, you know what? I'm still good. There's a possibility this thing is still going to break down because she hasn't gotten back up above 3,750. I'm still in the green. I'm still good. Until this breakout happened here. Now, this would cause some sort of alarm. Now, if I shorted and this breakout happened, I would start possibly covering or to see if she is going to break out. Let's see, what does she get to? 37.56. So 37.56, anything really above that, I would start covering. And you're right. So, Dubai Review, this could have been a panic short covering. because it really didn't do what they expected it to do. It didn't break down to the 35. It got to 36. 36 was maintained, and it got back up to 37.50. Then they realized, you know what? There's no sense in me. I'm breaking even now. There's no sense in me losing, a good amount of money because this thing could possibly break out. And that's exactly what it did. So it could have been shorts covering. You're absolutely right. But I don't think there would be a margin call unless they decided to short at 3,500 bucks, which I don't know why they would. But yeah, if people are still short in this and it really starts to go up, then yeah, we're going to see possibly a bigger of a parabolic move because they will add fuel to the fire on the buying side, and the buying will just really intensify. All right, 25.39. This is breaking out. And BTC doesn't look like it's following that same lead. So something's going on with NEO. And I'd be curious to see if this thing is just going to have a massive move to that 30. And 30 is also a resistance. So let's go ahead and look at that 30 in the past. You got your fiat ready for the 30th? Yeah, dude. Always have it ready. BTC volume. Let's see what the BTC volume is on Bitfinex. Of course, I got BTC or Bitfinex acting up. Yeah, the volume on NEO is still small on Bitfinex. 230,000. That's not a lot of volume to have this type of move. Trust in NEO. Yeah, gas was up on Friday, and it was huge. It was up almost 25% as I was doing the chat and chill. But NEO was not up to those levels at all. BTC volume on Bitfinex 33,000, but BTC volume is always low though. We're not going to see BTC volume in the millions, at least not yet. Considering just it's almost $4,000 per coin, so it's not cheap. So it's going to have low volume, lower than anything else that's cheaper. $25.27 is the actual price. Where's our 30? Yeah, actually, I do have a line there. So 30, and that was really a lot of fighting that happened between the bears and the bulls. And I was talking about, the fight that the bears and the bulls have to kind of take control of price action movement. And that was a lot of fighting within that $30 range. I mean, going below 30, going above 30, below 30, above 30. So 30 is really the price point for me to kind of get out because that's where a lot of the action happened. I'm not going to try to get out at the high of the fight between the bears and the bulls at 32 bucks. Because more than likely probably won't get there. 30 bucks is still wishful thinking, but with this type of move that it is having, it could happen. There is a possibility. So we're going to pay attention to this real quick. $28% on NEO, depending on where you're looking at, David. Unless my Bitfinex is acting up. And ETP, Metaversa, is the biggest loser. I think she touched a low. Wow, she did get to 116. So as a disclaimer, I do have an order in for ETP. It's a low ball offer, very low ball, in the hopes of a crash happening. And that's just for me to kind of take advantage of a nice little uptick. Nothing to hold long term. Nothing in regards to the fundamental aspect of Metaversa. Because something that gets beat up heavily, and it is getting beat up. It's getting just annihilated. I mean, I've never seen it drop like this, where it's just continuously grinding down. But 50 cents is really where I had my order in. Actually, 0.5001. I always put that 1 at the end of it to see if it has a violent crash to that level. And then if it upticks is like 75 cents, I'm out. You know, it's not something I would hold long term at all. But yeah, $1.16 is cheap for it, and 136 was. And I'm sorry, I'm not sharing the chart with you guys. Maybe I should share the chart. It is lagging a little bit though, so I'll wait for it to load. What's ETP? So ETP was listed. It's Metaversa. ETP was listed. Let's go ahead and look at CoinMarketCap. It was listed on Bitfinex, and it really had a nice run. And let me go ahead and share the chart. Matthew, what's up, buddy? What is up? So let's go ahead and find it on CoinMarketCap. It's nothing I would probably invest in long term, to be honest with you. I'm only looking to use it as a trading vehicle. So Metaversa, it is a Chinese company, and they are reimbursing everybody their money, or at least that's what they say. But there were people that were complaining that they were not reimbursing back the people that took advantage of the ICO. So when I kind of read that article, I was like, okay, maybe there will be a violent crash. People will panic. And that's why I put in that order of 50 cents. 60 cents was a low when it first got listed. And we're going to take a look at that chart. But I thought I would kind of lowball it and put it in for 50 cents. So 52 million is total supply, max supply 100 million, circulating supply 22.6. So basically, where's the other 30 million? So 30 million is not accounted for currently right now. I don't know if they're mining it or if they're saving it for something else. But let's see, where is it listed? And Bitfinex does have majority of the volume, and it was just listed, 5 days ago. It wasn't that long ago. But this is a 3-hour candlestick chart. Let's go ahead and maybe do a half an hour. So 60 cents was a low. And there wasn't really much trading that was happening within this. I don't know if it was insiders that were selling, because when, especially, looking at the price action movement, it had its first trade of 951. That was the volume. And it went from 90 cents to $2.40. After that, there were really 3 was the trade. 3, the volume was 3. And then after that, I mean, we're looking at a 30-minute chart. So these are 30 minutes price action. So then the next candlestick, 0 in volume. Next candlestick, 0. Next candlestick, 0. So hour and a half, there was no trading, which is a little crazy. That normally doesn't happen at all when something gets listed. There is volume that comes in. But for hour and a half, there was no volume at all. So a little shady what might have been happening. And then once they actually allowed it to trade for the public, they dropped it to 60 cents from $2.10. I'm sorry, $2.01, dropped it to 60 cents. And then I guess, people decided that they were going to support it and buy it, and drove it all the way up to $3.10. So that's a big increase within a very short period of time, from 60 cents to $3. But ever since then, it's been breaking down, but then consolidating, but it's still consolidating on a somewhat downtrend. So that consolidation happened, from the 9th all the way up to the 24th, if that's correct. I'm sorry, the 22nd all the way up to the 24th. And then after that, really, it's been downtrending, and that's all that it's really been doing. So this isn't something, I'm interested in holding long term, but if it does have a violent dip, then it's a great opportunity to try to capture that violent dip. I don't know if it'll get to 50 cents, but if it does, then I'll have an entry. If it doesn't, then I won't. But there's a lot of volume that's really coming in, especially recently. And this is a half-hour candlestick that we're looking at. So when it had that dip to 116, it was 202. Within a half an hour, 202,000, almost 203,000 that were traded. So that's a lot of selling. Selling just really intensified. So a lot of people are losing hope in this, especially if they bought it at $1.50 or whatever it might be, bought it higher than they should have, and they didn't wait for it to consolidate, or they didn't wait for it to correct, considering it was just listed. And a lot of them will get impatient, especially if they put more than they were willing to lose. And that could definitely cause a panic sell and a panic drop. And that's kind of what I'm waiting for, to see if I can capture that 50 cents. More likely, I probably won't be able to, but if I do, that's great. It's just one of those lowball offers I would put in, and kind of leave on there, or, change it the next day when I wake up and realize that, okay, it didn't hit when I went to sleep. What price am I aiming for ETP? If it hits 50 cents, I would really start locking, because I'm buying a significant amount. So I would start locking in, at 75 cents, $1, by $2. I mean, if it's going to have a nice upward trend, let's go back to it. If it's going to have a nice upward trend, then really $2 is the resistance. And that's going to probably be the hard resistance for it. Because really, when she did come down, if we really look at this, continuous drop for an extended period of time, hit $1.36. I'm sorry, $1.38. From that $1.38, she went right up to $2.02. $2.02 was a high, and couldn't break out above it, and completely broke down. So I would not be holding this more than $2. I would start taking, if it hits 50 cents, I would start taking incremental profits, maybe selling 500 at 75 cents, 500 at, or maybe 1,000 at $1, $1.50, $2, be completely out. If it does have a healthy uptrend from there on, because it hit bare bottom and people that were selling are no longer selling anymore. But yeah, I'm not really expecting much from it. But at 25 cents, I'm sorry, at 75 cents, I would start locking in some profits along the way. But yeah, it's a Chinese, token coin, ICO, and they got to reimburse everybody back their money. But yeah, don't buy this and expect to hold it long term, because if it does have a nice push to the upside, then there's a possibility it'll come crashing back down. All right, what's NEO doing? NEO 25.46. Let's see if it maintains 25. Because remember, 25 was a resistance. So if it can make the prior resistance the current support, and I've always mentioned, not all the time, it's not 100%. Just so please always remember that when it becomes when the prior resistance becomes a current support and it maintains that support, that's the biggest thing. It has to maintain above it, consolidate, wait for a better price action, and wait for more buyers to come in. And as long as volume is going up, which it is, then we know that we could have a bigger push to the upside. Now, if volume starts to dry off, like we see on the 24th, then it's going to be pretty stagnant, and we're probably not going to have much of a price action move. But there's a lot of volume that is coming into this, even though the volume is low in comparison to other coins. This is, let's see, what was the volume on this? 35,000, not 15,000, 11,000, 32,000, 31,000. And if that continues, then yeah, this is going to be a pretty healthy move. So I don't know if there's any news on NEO that's out, but it could also be, people buying NEO, because really, especially if they were looking to stake it, if they're looking to earn gas, whether, having it in the Neon wallet or having it on Binance. And that really should what's be driving the price up, and be driving the price up of gas as well too. Thirty-minute chart is looking very healthy, very healthy. Our moving averages are just aligned perfectly, with the 200 being at the bottom, and the 7 days, I think that's where I set it to. 1021, and our 10, 21, 50, and 100 all really being aligned properly in order. Now, the only time that this would draw some sort of alarm is the separation between them. Because if it separates too much between them, then we know that it's a parabolic move, and there is going to be a point where it's going to correct. But as long as they stay pretty close together, but are still moving up, that's a healthy trend. It's a very healthy trend. So we'll see, what the separation looks like as time goes on. But I don't want to see too much of a separation within a very short period of time. That's not good for it. It's not healthy, especially for long-term investors. If you're scalping this thing, it's perfect. It is perfect. You want to see those huge separations within a matter of minutes. So in a very short time frame, it's got to maintain above that 24.97. 24.98 was a high. Let's just say 28.98. I'm sorry, 24.98. It's got to maintain that line and grind sideways or stay above it any way it can in order for this to have really a meaningful move to the upside. But let's say, after 25, what is, this is not going to tell me on this. After 25, though, if it does maintain 25 and has another push up, where is the other area of resistance? Okay, coin, I don't know what that's doing. Neo hitting Korean exchange, that's a good sign. Probably some FOMO because it's got beat down so heavily. I don't think it got beat down heavily. I mean, it hit 13 bucks. Now, if it would have maintained 13 bucks under 15, I would say yes, it has been beat down. But this thing has really been somewhat healthy, to be honest with you. It's maintained above 17 for an extended period of time. Actually, let's just say above 19. So really, if this thing was to have a correction, and it was to have a major correction because BTC decides that it wants to take a dump, and of course, all other cryptocurrencies are going to follow the same suit. I wouldn't buy it above 20 at all. Like, I would wait for this thing to break below 19 bucks, between 19 bucks and 18.25-ish. That would be the level that I would be looking to buy, because really that's a level that it has maintained for an extended period of time. And it didn't really stay below it. Yes, it came down below it, but came right back up and it's maintained that level. So, if she does decide to have a correction, and I was looking for an entry, anything, between that 19 and 18.25-ish. But yeah, the more exchanges that it gets listed on, the better it's going to be. North Korea foreign minister says Trump has declared war on his country. Just saw it on Twitter. Well, he's also declared war on all the NBA and NFL players as well, too. So, yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. We won't turn this into a political type of conversation, but that's a whole different story. All right, it's breaking down. It's 24.50. Let's see how long this thing breaks down for. And I can't even change the time frame to look at to see what the other resistance would be for it above 20, above 25. Really, there's nothing. If this thing can maintain that 25 and have a clear confirmation of a bullish move, there's really nothing slowing this thing down until she hits 30. Nothing at all. But she's got to maintain that 25. That's the biggest thing. Yeah, there's nothing that's going to hold this thing for hitting 30. And so far, it's holding 25 and it's holding it pretty strong. Logan's Run. What is up, buddy? Hey, man, next time I do a chat and chill, I would love to have you on if you're interested. Because I think your story about how you got involved in Bitcoin is very interesting, and I think sharing that with a lot of the people that are coming onto this market and possibly watching that chat and chill could definitely learn from how you got involved in it. Bitcoin flying, business as usual, and it should be. It should be now that China is kind of we're pushing China out, or they're pushing themselves out of this cryptocurrency market. I think it's great. It's great. I'm always, even though I'm not in BTC, I'm always rooting for BTC to do well, because we all know once BTC is doing well, alts tend to follow. Not all alts, but majority of them do tend to follow. Gibraltar. I don't know who Gibraltar is. He's coming down on ICOs. I thought BitPay was a U.S. company. I didn't think they were legally based out of a different country. Did we take a look at OMG? No, we did not take a look at OMG. But we definitely can. Yeah, and Theo, that's the scary part, is that when volume is low and they're having this type of move, it's easy to get something to move. All you have to, and I've talked about this in the past, all you have to do is just start buying a little bit. And I need to analyze the order book. Let's go to Coinbase. I mean, any of us can get a cryptocurrency to start moving. Now, you would need a good amount of capital, but you just start buying little increments at whatever the price is, the highest price that's there, or the lowest price that somebody's willing to sell it at. And you just keep doing that over and over again. That's kind of, when you're seeing these little buy orders of like 0.05 or 0.1, and there's just tons of those 0.1s at different incremental price, that's exactly what it's either bots that are basically trying to move the price up to get out of a very large sizable position. But yeah, I mean, this could easily be a coordinated move by whales. Yeah, and let's not forget, I mean, whales do also run trading rooms. They definitely do. So really what we're looking at is just basically the orders that are being executed. And when you have orders that are just about the same. So here we go here. 0.03226, 0.03226, 0.03225, and you're probably going to see a lot of those. 0.03088, 0.03093, 0.0309, 0.0309. I mean, these are bots that are buying incrementals at every possible highest price that they can. So all they have to do right now is just start buy a little bit at 52.48, and then basically the price moves up to 52.48. Other people will also buy some and get the price to move up. Once it gets a little stagnant, then they buy a little bit at the next highest price, and so on and so on and so on. A bit like the Cayman Islands. I don't know what the 8-bit is, or BitPay. Is that what you're referring to? But yeah, so if you guys do watch these order books, you'll see little incremental, and a lot of times they're the same, and they're just buying them up little fraction as the price is going up just to sustain that level. OMG, somebody asked me to take a look at OMG. And I mean, everything is moving up, especially the major cryptos, with BTC moving up as well too. And BTC seems to be holding its current level at that 3290. I'm sorry, 3220. Okay, Orca, thanks for the clarification on Gibraltar. What did Wells ever do to me? I don't think it's what they did to me. I think it's what they've done to the overall market. They can easily manipulate the price. I remember, I mean, this is a very thinly traded market. It is. It's very thin. It's not that big. I mean, even the whole market at $500 billion is still a small market because it's an overall market. It's not Bitcoin being $500 billion. What exchanges offer programmable bots? I think they all do. They all will allow programmable bots. All right, so let's see. OMG is breaking down, and this is on the 15-minute chart. Sometimes we got to get a little granular to see exactly, how massive of a breakdown this might be. Because really looking at a 15-minute red candle is not a good indicator. So sometimes you got to get to 5 minutes, 3 minutes to see exactly, how are these candles opening up? Are they gapping down? I've talked about gap downs in the past where there'll basically be a separation between the closing price and the opening price of the two candles. And that's called that it would gap down or gap up. There'd be a gap between the closing price of the previous candle and the opening price of the candle. So gap ups are always good. Gap downs are never really good because that means that somebody was willing to sell lower than the actual price. And there was no buyer at the actual price and somebody sold at the lower price. So there would be a gap in between the two candlesticks. And a lot of times you don't see those gaps unless you really get very granular in the chart on the 1 minute, 3 minutes. As a feature built into the exchange, no, SE, not to my knowledge. I don't know of any, not at all. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that program their own bots and then use the API of the exchange so that the bots can actually trade on that exchange. But what you're describing, definitely not. Now, I'm sure the exchanges alone, would have a built-in bot into the exchange. They definitely do. Yeah, especially Coinbase. Considering Coinbase needs to buy Litecoin, Ethereum, and they need to buy Bitcoin, they're not going to buy them from a different exchange. They're going to provide liquidity into their own exchange. So they would have bots trading on their own exchange because they need those cryptocurrencies to sell to, basically newbies, knobs that don't know any better and they don't know that they can actually use the GDAX exchange and not pay a commission when they utilize limit buys and limit sells. And actually be able to have a limit order sit there and be patient. Whereas if you're using Coinbase, you're paying market price. There's no limit orders at all. It's a market buy. So if you're not in front of your computer and you see a dip, there's no way you can take advantage of it because you can't really put in that limit order on Coinbase.com. So I mean, this is looking healthy, even though we're still under that 25, 24.80, it's not a complete breakdown. So, this could have a nice sustained move until probably Wednesday, Thursday, and then we'll see exactly, as I get close to the weekend, if we're going to have a rally going into this, into the week, and then a sell off, as the weekend is approaching, we'll see. But that could be their strategy. Let's move the price up for the next 4 days, 5 days, well, not 5 days, but 4 days, and then start really bringing the price back down on Friday. Yeah, Logan, you're 3,800. I'm sorry, 3,000 entry is awesome. Like I think I said earlier, I mean, you caught the bottom. I think you were the only one that got it at 3,000 price range. Yeah, I should have bought it at 3,000. I mean, I told my buddies to buy it at 3,000, but I didn't buy it at 3,000. And I was too busy looking at something else, unfortunately. Litecoin kind of took my eyes away from BTC. All right, let's see what bots are doing on here. There we go. So bots are really starting to take over the buy side of the order book. 0.029999, 0.03002. And as you can see, they're buying a little bit, but as you can see, the price that they're buying it at is a penny higher above the other one. So, those two orders for 0.03002, it's at $52.77, $52.78. 0.03001, $52.79. And that's what bots will do, in order to get the price to move up. And they're just buying a little bit. As the price goes up, they buy a little bit. They provide that liquidity at that high price. And then, who knows? I mean, they've been accumulating, and now, they're trying to dump it, but they need the price to go up. So this could be bots sitting here with a couple hundred, Litecoin orders to dump it onto unsuspected buyers. But that's a lot of sellers that are lined up between $52.90 and $53. I mean, a difference of 10 cents. I mean, I'm trying to do the math off the top of my head here. We got 3, possibly 4, 5, 6, 7, almost 8,000 possibly. Within a difference of 10 cents. That's a little scary. And if bots can figure out that shorts are heavily leveraged on this, which they can't be actually on GDAX, they can't be. There's no margin trading at all, so there's no shorting. There shouldn't be any, unless Coinbase is shorting themselves, shorting their own market, which they can. But there shouldn't be any shorting allowed at all, considering there is no access to margin yet. Ever since the flash crash, they completely disabled it. Let's see. Coinbase inflated prices are still better than many other options, though. Yeah, that's true. I've seen some things inflated heavily, and I'm like, why would I pay like $150 more, than I would pay from an actual exchange? 7-8% markup. Yeah, I mean, the Bitcoin ATMs, it's basically for people that, they want to get into it, but they don't want to spend the time to figure out exactly, how to not manipulate, but how to maneuver, through the exchanges and whatnot. Those are the people that are paying that markup, which I don't know why they would. Yeah, QTUM, we did talk about that the other day. I don't remember what levels it was at. Ken Kelly, welcome. Great to see a new name. And if you are new, welcome. I'm glad you found us. It's a pleasure to have you. And become a regular. But to become a regular, make sure you click on that subscribe button as well as the post notification. When I do these videos, at least you'll be notified. And I will end up doing those, chat and chill type of conversations. All right, nothing interesting going on yet. Nothing interesting, but it's still maintaining those levels that it got up to, and that's healthy so far. That's healthy. LTC, I'm sorry, not LTC. ETH, F is going to have an issue though. F is going to have an issue, and it seems to be having an issue at that $300 range. $300 is going to be very crucial for it. I think we got to maybe look at a 2-hour time zone or 2-hour price difference. So 300 to 320. The 320 still, in the past was a resistance forward. It gave it a hard time, but once she had a confirmed breakout, she really broke out to that high of 396. Couldn't get above 4 though, and get to 420 or 415, whatever it is, on different exchanges. But 300 is that key level that she must get above and maintain. That's the biggest thing. It's maintaining it. They can, she can get above it. It's only less than $4.19, $4.18 away from actually hitting 300. So, she could hit it, but she has to maintain it. And that's the confirmation there that as long as she maintains it, then the probability of it being a healthy move is there. It's not 100%, because we always talk about probabilities. What are the probabilities of this doing this based on this? So if it maintains 300 and doesn't really break back down, then the probability of it having a better sustained push, as long as it's sustained, not parabolic, that it'll maintain a healthy trend to the upside. But really, those are the levels that she's got to break or maintain, and not completely break down. And we saw that, when it had that drop to 130, it dropped to 130, but it had a sustained move to the upside. Yes, there was a minor little corrections here and there, profit taken, and that's normal. As long as, it doesn't go from 200, all the way up to 350 and then crash right back down to 250, 225. That's not healthy at all. It's pure manipulation somehow, some way. But if it maintains key levels and just keeps grinding and, has a little pullback here and there with profit taken, that's a very healthy market. So 300 is the main key level. Then really 319, after 319, 340, 350. If it can do that, that 396 will be in sight, but that 396 will be a pretty tough break. And that's as long as, we're not getting crap from China or any other countries heavily wanted to regulate BTC. But I'm going to go ahead and put like triple, quadruple lines there. That's really a level that she's got to get above. And if she can do that, then, ATL, all-time high, is in the book. And I think that's something that F has been lacking for a very long period of time, is really getting to an all-time high, as other cryptocurrencies are getting to an all-time high. So that all-time high on GDAX is $420. The all-time high on Bitfinex was $411. NEO still at 25.31. It's healthy. And that's exactly what I would like to see. But if BTC has a nice push to the upside from this current level that she's at, there's really no reason that NEO is not going to have that push. And and F have a nice push, and LTC have a nice push. The major cryptos really that are following the same suit as BTC have a nice push up to the upside. And if that's the case, then 30 is a realistic price point for it to get to. Anything above 30, I think I would be kind of hoping, wishing, and kind of dreaming. But that 30 is is a key level that she could definitely get up to. We'll take a look at QTUM, and then I will be ending the live stream. So if you have any questions, please ask away. I forget what they're listed on. Bittrex. Anomaly, welcome, by the way. Forgot to welcome you. And I do remember you saying Neo's was hitting Korean exchanges soon, as they say. So I don't know. I mean, depending where you heard that announcement, share the news with us. Yeah, if you're looking, yeah, Ken, you're absolutely right. If you're looking at the daily trend, yeah, definitely bearish. But yeah, if you look at like the 30-minute chart, then yeah, I mean, somewhat a short-term bullish pattern, and it's always short-term until really she can break out, you know, above 5 grand. It's still bullish. I'm sorry, still bearish. Man, when did we talk about this? And I forget what was the news behind this possible little uptick, little move. But you know, but we'll see if she actually has a resistance right around that 260,000, 265,000 satoshis. Yeah, that would be the first area of resistance that I would see. Looks like the high that it touched was 270,000 satoshis. So unless it gives you a really confirmed breakout above that range, that is going to be the resistance for it. And I don't know what news is out, but if it's positive news in the sense that it's not FUD and it's something that came out from either developers and they're just not really trying to manipulate the price, then yeah, it could have a bigger sustained push and break out above that 270. And if it can, then that might be some sort of confirmation. Wow, you know what? It broke out above a level that it had a hard time kind of breaking out above, but it still has other key levels that it has to break out. And I think that major key level on a short-term price action move, not long-term, is really going to be that 350-ish. Bitcoin Buddha, not a problem, man. Thank you for joining. Anybody that's on here, thank you for joining and wanting to really spend your time with me. And this is great. I mean, I enjoy doing this. And if you're willing to take the time out to hang out on this live stream, I think that's awesome. All right, so we're getting a nice, on a 30-minute chart on LTC, we're getting a nice bullish pattern type of move, you know, with these 3 candlesticks. Opening price and closing price are pretty good, even though, you know, we do have a wick, you know, it still didn't close red, and the opening price is above the previous candle's closing price. And as long as we get that, you know, and it's a sustained move, as long as we're not getting, you know, huge candlesticks that, you know, will take it up from $48 all the way to 53 within a matter of an hour, that's not sustained. What we're seeing right now with these 3 green candles, that's a nice sustained move to the upside. You know, slow and steady always wins the race, long term. But short term traders, you know, having these parabolic moves, that's what they look forward to. But yeah, long term traders, I mean, this is a nice bullish move, slow and steady. And yeah, that 53, 52 is still going to be a level, but it's maintaining above 53, which, you know, I mean, that's just healthy. It's healthy for it. GDEX canceled all your open orders from the weekend. You know, let me look at my GDEX, because I do have open orders for LTC that have been kind of sitting there. I wonder if they did cancel them. They did cancel them. I've heard of that happening in the past. But I don't know if anybody else is having the same issue, if this was a widespread type of cancellation. Now, I know when they did the update a while ago, there was, they did cancel everybody's order. So let's really, let's take a look at LTC a little closer, because something happened. And really, we got to look at the 1 minute chart and see exactly how far the 1 minute chart takes us, because something was going on with GDAX. And the 1 minute chart will definitely indicate, that there was a pause in trading. But, why would they cancel? Who knows? I can't seem to see it on here. Yeah, they canceled mine as well too then. They definitely did. Something happened between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. I'm trying to see if this chart will load properly. There was no trading activity that happened at all within that time frame. Nothing. But I have heard of this happening, and they shouldn't cancel it unless really they send out an announcement saying we're doing a system maintenance. The system maintenance will cause all open orders, to be canceled, and they have done that before. I remember that, but I didn't get any announcement at all saying that they're canceling orders, and that's not good for somebody that's not really a trader, somebody that doesn't really look at this market, thinking, hey, you know what, I have a low ball offer in, and it's good till I cancel it, because really they are good until you cancel them. But yeah, for them to cancel them, it's a little shady. But yeah, nothing happened. There was no activities at all, no trades after 4:30 a.m. I'm sorry, actually, let's see. Yeah, that's not right. There's something going on here. I'm seeing a little bit of activity from 4:15 a.m. to 4:30 a.m. And then the next candlestick jumps to 12:45 p.m. to 1 p.m. That's a huge gap, and that doesn't make sense because that's within a half an hour of the actual time frame, looking at the bottom timestamps. So something shady is happening, and that's not good. And then nothing really happened until 7:45 a.m. That is strange. 4:15 to 4:30, and then it changes right to 12:45. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit more. And I can't scroll to the left, but yeah, something happened here prior to 8 where they've halted all trading. And I don't know if anybody was on GDAX attempting to trade, because I'm assuming you wouldn't be able to. Yeah, I'm going to take a look at this a little further before I end this live stream, just to try to determine exactly what exactly happened. Litecoin USD. Let's make sure I'm looking at the right exchange. Other orders are fine. So it was only on LTC. So I haven't looked at to try to analyze exactly, if same thing happened to BTC as well as F. But from, their actual, from GDAX.com, there's something happened. There was no trades that were happening between 4:30 a.m. and 8 a.m. This morning. But you can't, scroll and zoom in and zoom out. So I'm going to see if anything will indicate anything at all happened on a different charting system. Here we go. So let's see. Now, there was still volume there. Not much in volume, but there was still volume between 3:30 a.m. and 4:15 a.m. on the 25th. And then 7:45, volume actually returned to being somewhat normal with the candlesticks. So GDAX, charting system is showing something completely different than what they're showing here. But let me actually get out of this 15 minutes. I forgot I was on a 15-minute time zone. Yeah, and all my LTC orders are gone too. I didn't have any other orders for BTC or F. But if you're saying all other orders are fine, then something happened with LTC. Do I have orders in the book at the current moment? I did have LTC order, which kind of sucked because I was probably, close to being first in, first out at that $45 that I've had it for a while. And it got to $45, just I wasn't first in, first out to have it executed. So then I put in another order for twice the amount at $45.01, which they definitely took that away. So, but let's see, on the 25th, I'm still on a 15-minute candlestick. But then I also do have a low ball open order on ETP on Bitfinex. Now, if the market was dropping and they did this, yeah, I would say this is shady. It's shady what they're doing because they wanted to capture, they wanted the price to drop and they didn't want these open orders, preventing the price from dropping. So if the price was dropping and they went ahead and canceled everybody's open order, that's shady. That is shady. And they were looking to basically capture, this move. So here we go. And I mean, I'm still on the 15-minute chart. It won't allow me to get to the 1-minute chart. Let me refresh this. Because this is kind of piqued my interest a little bit to see, how shady. And I wonder if anybody on Reddit is talking about this. Or on any other social media platforms. Yeah, SC, I'm glad you looked as well too, man, because I would have looked at all. I mean, I've had that, $45 and 45.01 buy and offer for a while now. And that was actually, when it dipped to $45 not long ago, last week. So to be honest with you, I wouldn't have looked at, my LTC buy order at all because I would have assumed it was there. All right, now I'm in the 1 minute. Let's see what happened. That was around 4 something. Well, it's not going to really tell us what happened, but at least we'll know that, yeah, they must have halted trading. So I can only think of one speculation. Let me just look at the volume: 21, 17, 31, 11, 33, 66. I mean, there was volume, but the volume was nothing. Okay, here we go. Now volume gets a 0 at 346. Volume turns to 0. So, and volume is still 0 until we get to 755. So the only the only thing I can speculate on as to why there was no trading is that they're testing something out. And what I'm hoping they're testing out is a circuit breaker. But for them to cancel the open orders, though, I don't know what that's about. And I hope that, if somebody digs in a little deeper and finds something, definitely let us know. But the only thing I can think of is that they're actually testing out a circuit breaker. And when a circuit breaker trips, it halts all trading for an extended period of time. I'm hoping that's the case, and I'm hoping it's not something shady that they're doing. I'm hoping that, they are testing out these circuit breakers to prevent, flash crashes from happening. That's really the only thing I can possibly think of. But, I mean, this is on a longer time frame. It shows that, I mean, for almost 4 hours, there was no trading. But, on a shorter time frame, it does show that there's a little bit of activity, not much of an activity at all. That basically goes from, let's see what time this starts, like 3:30 a.m. There's a little bit of activity, but then at one point activity stops and there's no trades that go through, which, I mean, in this market that trades 24/7, to have 0 trades for an extended period of time, yeah, that doesn't make sense. Let me see what you guys are saying about that. Maybe somebody knows something that might be happening. Luke, welcome, buddy. Just tuning in. Can I summarize the idea you're currently articulating about? Well, somebody just kind of informed me that their buy orders, their limit order was canceled on GDAX. I was like, really? I'm like, well, let me look at my order. I have an open order as well too to buy. And I was like, whoa, mine are canceled as well. And then really looking at the chart, there wasn't any activities that happened for an extended period of time. And that's kind of rare in a market that trades 24/7. There's always activity. There's always buyers and sellers, whether it's bots or humans, different time zones, the activity is always there. So for it to not have any activities and for them to cancel all open orders, they must have been testing out a circuit breaker. That's the only explanation I can think of, unless you guys have read something on Reddit where somebody has a different theory about that, or they've dug in a little deeper and were able to uncover something else. But yeah, that's really the only thing I can speculate on, is that they were testing out a circuit breaker, and they didn't want to test out a circuit breaker and have the price and have the price crash. So what are they going to do? Oh, you know what? We had a system malfunction, and all open orders got canceled. I mean, there was no announcement at all. I didn't get an announcement saying, we're canceling open orders like they did a while back when they were doing a system maintenance. They canceled all open orders. If you had a margin order, or if you were on margin, you had to satisfy that margin. You had to get out of margin position. And I remember that. And I was like, no, they're not going to cancel my open order. I'm not on margin. And they did. I mean, they stated that they would in their announcement. But there was no announcement for this cancellation of open orders on LTC. And it only happened on LTC. So, I mean, later on, I'll take a look at, or if you guys want to, you can take a look at it, F and BTC, and see around that time frame if there were any type of activities. I don't think CryptoWatch is going to indicate that to me, but let's go ahead and take a look at CryptoWatch real quick. Oh, you know what? I didn't even think about that, SE. Yeah, I did get an email about implementation of the LTC Vault, yes, and the F Vault as well too. But why would that even have any type of implication on the actual exchange, the GDAX? That wouldn't have anything to do with GDAX whatsoever. It would only have something to do with Coinbase. That's really what the Vault is. So, yeah, I don't know, that theory kind of goes out the window with me, at least, because the Vault really doesn't matter for GDAX. There is no Vault for GDAX. You got to move it to Coinbase. Fred Wilson. I don't know who Fred Wilson is, but yeah, I mean, if you can dig in deeper and get some information, yeah, dude, that's definitely helpful, and definitely share it with the community. But a 1 minute chart, let's see how far it'll allow me to expand this. That's the 23rd. Where am I at? '24th. It happened this morning, so 25th. We're still on the 24th. All right, nothing shady as of midnight. Still activities. And I'm actually looking at, what am I looking at? Oh, this is Bitfinex. Ah, man, I'm looking at Bitfinex. I'll have to take a look at GDAX. But one thing I did talk about, sometime in the stream today was the gap up. Here's a perfect example of a gapping up. There's a gap between the closing price of the previous candle and the opening price of the current candle at that time. And the gap was, let's see, closing price on this was 37.62. Opening price on this was 37.64. So $2 gap, and there's also a gap here. A lot of times, when you see a gap, it's called a gap the gap close strategy, and they have to close that gap. They can't 100%. I mean, I'm sorry, not 100% because there's nothing is certain, but usually, 90% of the time they have to close that gap. And that's exactly what it did here. It came right back down to it and closed that gap. So if you see a bigger gap, just know that it is going to retrace back down to it to close it. And 90% of the time, they do close that gap. As we can see, there's a gap here. She retraced back down to it to close that gap, but still continued a longer downtrend. But yeah, you really can't play the gap strategy on cryptocurrency because it's 24/7. The gap strategy works very well on trading traditional financial markets because they do close. And then they open up and they gap up huge when they open up, and you wait for them to retrace, or you actually short it because it has to close that gap. There's a 90% probability that it closes that gap. And if it doesn't close that gap, then you close your short position. But yeah, if there's a huge gap and it starts running, it has to close that gap. You just have to find a good spot to short and hope that you don't get liquidated if the price keeps going up. But eventually, it does have to come down and close it. It might not close it that same day, but they do close it. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at just before I do end this live stream, just to see if anything shady was going on with the BTC on GDAX, to see if they actually paused trading. But since they didn't cancel any open orders for anybody on BTC as well as ETH, then I'm going to say no, nothing was really happening with that. But yeah, actually, yeah, here we go. So I can't believe I didn't see this. So yeah, no activities at all. I mean, nothing. And this is as far as I can zoom in. Oops. Yeah, so there was no announcement at all to indicate that trading was going to be halted, and if you had any open orders, that they were going to be canceled. Nothing at all. So could this move up be caused by Coinbase? That's a possibility. And let's take a look and see if we have a gap here. Opening price was 48.50. Yeah, no activities at all. 48.50 was the opening price of that candlestick at 8. Closing price 48.44. I mean, not much of a gap, 6 cents. I don't think that's going to make a huge difference. But yeah, no trading at all, no activities whatsoever. And thank you, I think it was SE, for pointing out that his order was canceled. All right, same thing on ETH as well too. Usually 4 a.m., 3:30 a.m. I'm sorry, this is a BTC we're looking at. I'm sorry, until 7:45. No activities, no trades whatsoever. So there's got to be something on Reddit somewhere that somebody's talking about this, and maybe they've uncovered something that we're not able to uncover. Let me take a look at ETH real quick on the 1 minute as well. Doesn't look like my chart wants to cooperate with me. Yep, no activities. About 3. Actually, started a little later on this because there was a little bit of activities. This one started around 4:30ish. 4:30ish, no activities at all the way up to 7 a.m. So that's interesting. That is interesting. Let's see what you guys are saying, and then I got to end this live stream, unfortunately, and go back in and put in my buy orders for LTC. Yeah, see, I'm glad you looked too, because to be honest with you, I wouldn't have looked at all. I would have probably looked if I was gonna get out and try to maybe buy something else with it, and then realize, whoa, why does my account show that I have USD and it's not really being taken out and applied towards an open order? That would have definitely caught my eyes. But yeah, I probably wouldn't have looked at it unless, the price crashes and it hits that 45, and I'm like, whoa, I got an entry. That's great. And then I look at it and be like, whoa, why do I not have an entry? Where's my open orders canceled? He's one of the investors. Okay, yeah, I mean, ask him. I don't know if he would know anything, but yeah, it's kind of shady that Coinbase didn't put out an announcement that there is going to be a system outage or and maintenance that's going to be done. And if there's that maintenance, then yeah, I could understand it not having any activities at all, but nothing was stated whatsoever. There was a problem with GDAX API. Only cancel operations were allowed, but I didn't cancel my order, and none of us, and I don't think SE canceled his order either. So if only cancel operations were allowed, then that would mean that I could go in and just only cancel that order, but I couldn't put in another order. I couldn't put a buy order. I couldn't put in a sell order. I could only cancel whatever orders that I had in the book. But none of us canceled it. They canceled it themselves. Yeah, I'll take a look at the status thing. But there should have been an announcement saying, all open orders have been canceled. You need to go back in and, place your order back in the book. But like I said, I mean, for somebody that's, only, I don't know why I can't copy that link, but I can look that up later. But, like I said, for somebody that's, like a lot of my friends where they're not traders, they're not investors. I mean, they just want to buy it low and they want to put in a buy order and leave that buy order in there, and not have to worry about it and follow the price every single day. They can just kind of look at it and be like, oh, it did hit this, so I must have my position now. And then they realize, whoa, for the past several months, I never had an open order in the book to take advantage of a drop. Enhanced track, I'll take a look at that. There's so many things that I need to take a look at. It's just a matter of really finding time to do it. But yeah, since I don't really use Bittrex too much, I don't know how much it'll come in handy, but at least for charting, it might be good. You have buy and sell orders all gone. So a lot of people were affected by this on SE. It wasn't us. It wasn't a conspiracy to say, oh, anybody in CryptoTraders Room that's buying LTC, we're going to cancel their open orders. All right, retracement on NEO, it didn't hold that 45 bucks. I'm sorry, 45 bucks. It didn't hold the $25. It did not hold the 25 price point, but we are looking at the 1 minute candlestick, and definitely don't trade on the 1 minute stick. Because yeah, this would show you that it's actually way below or it's getting below our 200-day moving average, and it's at least minimum an hour or minimum 30 minutes to an hour. It's good for charting. Yeah, I'll definitely look into it. I definitely will. But yeah, so as we can see, I mean, it's getting below our 7-day moving average, and that's not good. And if it maintains, the level of being below that 7-day moving average, the 14 days is in sight. And then that just might cause some sort of a domino effect of a drop. But yeah, I guess, yeah, we got to go back in and put those low ball offers back in and see what happens. But yeah, I think this is the end of the live stream. I want to thank everybody for joining. I mean, this is awesome. Thank you to anybody that hit the like button. And if you hit the thumbs down button, leave me a comment. Let me know, what I could have done better to make this live stream a little better. So, bad criticism is always good criticism for me. It just kind of helps me improve the live stream and make it a little better for you guys. But thank you so much for joining. I do appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your week, the start of your week. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. And hopefully, I forgot to ask if everybody had a great weekend. So this is Jonas, AKA Crypto Trader, in CryptoTraders Room, one of the only places where we eat, drink, sleep, dream, trade, and invest in digital currencies. Thank you so much for joining. Until Wednesday, you guys have a very blessed day. Enjoy it.